Hi everybody. Today we're going to talk about the PEY. And the PEY is the 17th letter in the alphabet, and it has a numerical value of 80. It means mouth, like mouth. It makes a sound like the P in peace or the F in food, depending on where it is in the word. So if it's at the beginning of the word and has a dot in it, it means, it sounds like P, the P in peace. And if it's in the middle or the end of the word, it sounds like F, like food. So I'm going to show you a few of, before we get started, actually, why don't you go and get some, if you want to draw, go get your artist stuff, and then we'll start. Well, you can pause this and go get your art supplies, because it really enhances the experience with the PEY if you will draw it. No matter what your drawing looks like. You say, I can't draw, but actually you can draw. And I'll hold one of them that are pretty clear. This one's pretty clear. Up, and you can actually copy it. So it goes around, there's kind of a yod at the top, comes down, it makes a little indentation, and it goes out. So you can actually stop the screen and just trace it. So that's a PEY. And here's another one. That actually is one of my first. And here is the final PEY. That's what it looks like. It's really pretty. And there's just another pretty PEY. And here's one, a PEY. And here's a PEY. And see how everything is coming out? That's because God opened God's mouth, and out came creation. So this is the one I want to tell you a story first. This is about a man named Bahir, or it's not about him, but he's the one that wrote this, or Torah. And it actually has a copy at the JTS library in New York, because I saw it. Actually, I have a copy of it. It's so exciting, because I'd heard the story for years, but of course I had to see it for myself, which is how I am with all my research. So anyway, the story goes, well, here is, in the Bible, the first word of the Bible is Bereshit, which means in the beginning. Bara means create. And then there's this word et. That's it. This is an aleph and a tav, et. And in English, it has no meaning. What it is, it's a marker before a direct object. So, Bereshit bara et, Hashemayim v'haaretz. So you have to have an et, because the heavens is a direct object. So, but the Bear interpreted the et as meaning the alphabet, which many times this does stand for the alphabet. Aleph to Tav, the alphabet, the Hebrew alphabet. And so anyway, this is the painting I wanted to talk about, because this is so exciting to me. So anyway, so God, so the PEY opened its mouth, and out came the bait, which is creation. And here are all the letters. So that was his interpretation, that God opens God's mouth, and all the letters came out. And they are the foundation of creation. My rabbi, well, he's retired now, but Mitshevitz, explained this story to me, and it's really quite wonderful. And he also explained that, in the days when these stories came about in the Talmud, particularly, they didn't have TV or anything. They didn't have, I think they had something to write with. They had pens at that point, some sort of quill, or I can't remember what they used. But anyway, they would make they would make up these stories, or maybe they were revealed to them. Who knows? Anyway, these stories came about because they didn't have anything else to do. They were studying Talmud, and these things would come to them, or Torah. They were studying Torah and writing it in Talmud, and these things would just come to them. So who knows where they came from? Anyway, I love these stories. So now we're going to have a meditation about the PEY. So why don't you picture your PEY? And my PEY is going to be pretty much that in the last painting, because that's what I like to meditate on. So it's green, and it opens its mouth. And the bait. The reason the bait is associated with creation, of course, is because it's the first letter in Torah, the first letter in the Bible. So Bereshit, in the beginning, Bara, created, Et, the letters. And then the letters were the foundation for everything, for the rest of the alphabet, which I realize now doesn't make any sense because Bereshit and Bara had already been written. But anyway, I'm not going to pay attention to that. I'm going to just love this story with everything I have. I'm just going to relax into it and feel I'm sitting in the bait with all the letters, or rather the PEY with all the letters, sitting against the bait inside the PEY. And simply feeling that force of creation. Which of course is extremely powerful, but very gentle for me. In other words, I don't get wished out. Not wish, I mean forced out of where I'm sitting because of the strength of the power that is emanating from these two letters. So why don't you sit for a minute or two with your PEY? So it's time to begin to come back to this room. I just love the letter PEY. I love it because of that story and because of the uniqueness of its form to me. Anyway, if you ever want to work with me one-on-one, we can work with the letters. All the information is going to be below this video. And if I have a Facebook page which is listed below where you can see more information about the letters, and the PEY will be up all this week. And also, I have a website now called, I had a website for 20 years and I closed it, but now I have a new website called HebrewLetters.com, and you can look at the paintings there. And I do have, I'll put the PEY up soon, hopefully over the weekend. So thank you so much for listening, and I will see you next week with the Sadi. Thanks again.